As you know, this morning around 7:17, we received several 911 calls off of Riverview Drive in regard to a stabbing and a shooting that occurred. And what we've found out that transpired is that we had 3 children that were sitting out in a car, apparently ages about 17 through about 10, approximately females. They were sitting in the car waiting to go to school. The parents got involved in some type of domestic altercation inside the residence. The lady who was in that residence, her throat she was either stabbed or a significant cut to her throat. She ran across the street and took refuge in a neighbor's house. The male followed her with a firearm. This was, of course, all in front of the children. And he broke into the house across the street, went into there and fired multiple shots, striking her again. He then fled the scene. During that time we were receiving multiple 911 calls. He fled the scene and ran into the river a few hundred yards from the scene, which he eventually was tracked down, and we were able to take him into custody a short distance from the house. Right now the victim has been transported to, I believe, Tampa General with critical life-threatening injuries, and we're in the process of trying to sort through what was going on prior to that time. So I'll take any questions.
Do we know why he ran across the street and broke into another home? Is that home just a random?
No, the lady who was stabbed ran to that house to try to get away from him. She took refuge. He followed her a short time later, shot her at that house, and then he actually pointed the gun at a neighbor who tried to intervene. The weapon would not fire, and he fumbled with a weapon. That was out in one of the front yards, and then he fled into the river.
Were these the children's parents?
We believe they are the children's parent. That's the information we have.
Are the children okay?
The children okay. I mean, they do. They were right there. Yes. So we did have kids that had blood on them, and so they were very close to it. So we definitely have some upset kids.
You said the kids had blood on them. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, when they followed their mother into the house, they apparently perceived what had happened. Followed the mother into the house and had contact with her, and were in close proximity at the time she was shot.
But they were not physically hurt as far as being injured or
not that we're aware of, no.
How many people were in that house that she
I don't know how many were in that house at the time. I'll have to get you all that information, how many
Somebody
were there.
Was there, though,
yes.
To help her?
Yes.
And we heard a dispatcher, during a 911 call, there was reported a dispatcher heard gunfire.
And I can't verify that right now. That's a possibility that we did have multiple 911 calls coming in, and that is a possibility.
Do you know what precipitated the incident?
We don't. We don't know what was going on. That's what we're trying to sort through, find out what the relationship was and what would have led up to this.
Where are the kids going to be now?
Well, I'm not sure if they'll end up in our custody or if we'll have a friend or relative that'll be close enough. We're still debriefing with them, and we'll be trying to get them some help here this morning.
Do you know of any previous history of any domestic violence at this house?
We have not had a chance to get into the history of the house, so we don't know all those questions. But we should know, later this morning. We should have those answers for you.
Is it life-threatening injuries?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the children. What time was the call this morning? You said?
We received a call about 7:17, the first initial call.
Is it safe to say they were on their way to school?
We believe that was our assumption, that they were probably in the car getting ready to go to school.
Do you know if all 3 go to one school? Or?
I don't know. I don't know that. They range in age from 17 down, so I would doubt they all go to the same school, but it looks like they were maybe getting ready for school.
It was 3 girls?
3 girls.
And again, where are they now, those children?
They're at various locations, that we are with them right now, and we're trying to get some friends or relatives that can help us with that.
Were any able to go to the hospital with their mom?
Not right now. I don't believe so. No.
Were any of them threatened in any way during all of this?
I don't know that. I can't answer that. I mean, as far as the charges right now, there's going to be a variety of charges, and we're still, working through that to see, what the exact charge will be. There, it could, depending on what happens with her, and we have him breaking into a neighbor's house to get to her. We have a lot of charges.
I guess we're concerned it was a weapon or gun ever pointed at one of his own children.
Don't know that. I know he was pointed at a neighbor for sure, and obviously the female that was there is shot and stabbed in the throat at least. So
And
And
I
these
don't
are
know.
in fact his children.
Well, again, they're together, and we believe they're married, and whether or not they're all his children or from previous relationships, we don't know.
They are married?
Yes, that's our information, is they are married. Yeah.
Are you releasing any names at this point?
No names right now, but hopefully, sometime later this morning we'll be able to release names to you.
Sheriff, these kids are going to have emotional scars now.
No doubt about that. No doubt about that. We'll be trying to address that as early as we can this morning.
And as far as the neighborhood is concerned, the suspect is in custody at every.
He's in custody, and it appears to be isolated to this family, and we don't know. Again, we don't know where it came from and what's been going on, but we hopefully will have the entire story. No, he was not cooperative. He ran into the river. He actually was in the water, and one of our deputies had to go down into the water and take him into custody. He eventually came up.
Was he literally swimming away from?
He was standing down in the water, and I think the hypothermia eventually got to him.
I didn't even know that he was there.
We had tips that he had run in a certain direction. Neighbors had seen him come out of a window of the house where the shooting had occurred and had pursued him down that area and found him in the water.
How far away is that from here?
It is not. It's just to the south of us right now. It's really only a couple hundred yards from where the residence of where the shooting was.
I noticed there's a lot of people back there, even a brush fire crew. Why that crew? Why so many people keep coming to the scene right now?
Well, there's a lot going on. A lot of the people we can't allow them to leave because we don't know if they witnessed different things. We have the trash collectors are still here, and all the people that may have been here. So we're having to freeze everything right now until we can sort out, who may have information, and then hopefully we'll get you guys a little closer as we let some of those people out of there.
Just to clarify, weapons. How many weapons, or was it a knife or something?
Well, there was something that stabbed her, and there was a firearm as well. There were at least two. We know that she stabbed her throat cut and her, and we know that he had a firearm for sure.
And he shot at her, correct? And
yes.
Then it jammed when he tried to shoot at the neighbor.
Yes, that's the information we have right now.
Have those weapons been recovered?
We have. I'm not gonna comment on what we recovered or anything right now this time.
Did he have a record?
I don't know that yet. I don't know. They're probably doing that right now, but I give them a little time to work through that, so I don't make sure I don't give you anything that's not
How
correct.
quickly on the names? Do you have any idea yet?
It'll depend on the relatives and how quickly we can notify and all of that.
And in domestic violence cases, when you guys have to deal with this stuff all the time, and it's upsetting not only to the families involved, but also your officers on the scene.
Yeah, and I mean it represents a good bulk of what we do, every day for local law enforcement. I mean, a lot of the calls we get in some way are related to domestic violence issues. Either directly or indirectly, and that this is the case where, it boils over and we get the worst case scenario.
It's kind of like shake your head after a while.
Well, you just got to keep going. It's one of those things we just got to keep working at it. And that fortunately it doesn't get any better. It's one of those things that we've always got to work at and do the best we can.
Sounds like your deputy did a great job apprehending this.
They did a good job, sir. Yep, no problem, guys. Thank you all.
Thank you.